Huck Fit 22. Who should subscribe? Yeah, that's you.
Hey, it's Huck, and welcome to the third installment of Ask Huck, where each month I get to sort through your questions and share with you the knowledge and wisdom that can only come from a lifetime of mistakes, misfortune, and a rather amazing lack of success. All you have to do is submit a question in the comment section below this video, and I promise to consider it among those questions I choose for next month's Ask Huck video, scheduled for the first week of December. Now remember, one feature of all of the Ask Huck videos is that if you click on any of the questions in the video, a link will open up that takes you to the most recent video or channel page of the YouTuber who submitted the question. Now I really hope you'll do that. I'm sure these folks will appreciate the visit. Anyway, helping me with questions today is Clone. How you doing, Clone? Oh, I'm healing nicely, thank you. Clone kinda got his ass kicked earlier this week, trick-or-treating for the first time. You might want to check that out. Here's the link. I only made it to 3 houses and got only 2 lousy pieces of candy. Well, there's always next year, Clone. Anyway, what do we have for our first question today? Well, Huck, our first question comes from a user named 418D, who asks, what is your opinion of people who come from England, like him? Well, 418D, all I can tell you is that, like most Americans, I'm just fascinated with English folks, especially all their funny accents. I mean, come on, let's admit it. For a relatively small island nation, you folks have more English dialects than Rupert Murdoch has phone hacking scandals. Wait a minute. Scratch that. Maybe not. You know, if you were female and that username of yours was a close approximation of your bra size, I got to admit it would greatly enhance my opinion of you. Well, along that same line, Sporting Fingal Danny of Ireland asks, what country would you most like to visit before you die? Interesting you should ask that, Danny. You know, as I'm approaching the age of dirt, and I find myself without the finances to travel as much as I'd like, well, the reality is beginning to sink in that I'm never likely to visit many of the places in the world I'd always hoped to see. To answer your question, though, I guess if I had to pick just one, it would probably be as many places within the United Kingdom as I could fit into one visit. I mean, I studied English history and the English language in college, and so I have a whole itinerary of places in England, Scotland, Wales, and Ireland that I'd really like to check out. And following that, although there's nothing in particular I really want to see there, China comes to mind. Hell, the odds have got to be in my favor of finding at least one girl who would go out with me. Question number 3 comes from a user named Kellen, or maybe it's Keelan, D. Wood, who asks, what are your thoughts on social networking? Wow. Well, it's changing the world. We're seeing that right before our very eyes in the Middle East, and even here in our own country with the Occupy Wall Street movement and how it's spread around the country. And in other ways as well. I mean, it's been really bad news for bullies, whether those bullies wear school clothes or a police uniform. I mean, after all, anybody with a camera phone can shoot video and post it to websites like YouTube or Facebook, and, well, it's all over, buddy. Now, I realize that there are some pretty serious privacy concerns that come along as a result of all this social networking going on. But if we've learned anything, it's that anything that wields great power for good now has an equal opportunity to wield that power for evil. So we do have to take some steps to protect ourselves and, well, especially our kids by monitoring, the activities that they take part in online. But I'm optimistic. I really do believe there's great potential for all this social networking phenomena to lead us to a better, more fair and equal place for everyone. Leo Signet wants to know your opinion of gay marriage. Well, Leo, considering that more than 50% of all marriages end in divorce, I can't see how gay folks can do much worse. I think he means what you personally feel about it. For me, personally, hey, I can't say I've ever really thought about it, but, you know, my success with women is not exactly anything I can brag about, and things are really financially tough around here. Did he happen to say whether he was rich? Let's go on. Vitally 14 asks, why do the girls at school only like idiot guys who do bad things and act like dumbasses? Every nice guy has asked himself this question. But the answer is really a simple one. Maturity. Some people have it, most people don't. Immature girls, and nice girls can be immature, go for immature guys. It really boils down to that. For some girls, it's their obsession with drama. Anything less than the tallest, fastest roller coaster thug they can find bores the hell out of them. They don't want no stinking stability. They want adventure, and they want it as close to the edge as possible. Now, sometimes, when they've taken just about as much abuse as their bodies can absorb mentally or physically, well, they may take refuge in the comfort and caring of a nice guy like you. But this is usually just a reprieve to recharge their batteries before they go back with the son of a bitch or someone even worse. Other girls are under the sad, mistaken belief that they're up to the challenge of changing the guy. They delude themselves into thinking that their bad boy is just a victim of a cruel and unloving world and just badly misunderstood. This is the nurturing syndrome that so many girls and women are famous for. You can't explain to them, for instance, that the reason the boy's mother disowned him is because he's an asshole. And a third reason stems from the fact that, well, many nice guys are shy, maybe even a little awkward. And most girls are usually attracted to powerful, aggressive men. I mean, it is human nature that we tend to hover near people who exude a lot of self-confidence. And for all their faults, bad boys do have huge egos. That's the thing about ego. I mean, it's a fine line between the drive that gets you on the dean's list or puts you on the FBI's most wanted list. My honest advice, Vitally 14, is that if the girl you like chooses to pass you over in favor of some guy who's likely to be featured on a future episode of Locked Up, well, let her go. You don't need that kind of immaturity influencing your decisions at this time of your life. Years from now, you're going to look back on everything you've accomplished in life. And her, well, there's a pretty good chance she's going to look back on a lifetime of broken dreams and expectations, and left holding the bag with a handful of kids she's now supporting on her own. That's her destiny. I wouldn't be too anxious to share it with her. Well, I've taken enough of your time. Say goodbye, clone. See ya. Thanks a lot for watching. I'll see you next week.
Huck Fit 22. Who should subscribe? Yeah, that's you.